Hello, I'm Tom Campbell, the Dean of the Dale E. Fowler School of Law at Chapman University, and I think we have a wonderful law school, a unique law school, a law school that will help every student prepare and then become a professional taking care of those in need through the service of legal advice. Let me start with a comment that's relative to our ability to prepare our students to practice law. You can't practice law unless you pass the bar, and we just had the best news possible. For the 5th year in a row, our law school students have exceeded the average of the California law schools that are approved by the ABA, and by a significant margin. And there's only 7 law schools in the entire state with 21 ABA-approved law schools that can claim to have exceeded the average 5 years in a row. It's a remarkable achievement. And in terms of our environment here, we're very proud of another rating. The Princeton Review reports the various law schools around the country and rates them in categories. Among the most interesting, and I think most telling, is quality of life. Do students actually enjoy their time at a law school? And for the 12th year in a row, we're in the top 10 in the Princeton Review. That's a remarkable record. If you come to the Fowler School of Law at Chapman, you will learn the law, you will pass the bar, and you will enjoy your time here. Let me tell you a few reasons particularly why. We emphasize skills training, and our skills training component has actually been rated by Pre-Law magazine as one of the top 20 in the entire country. What we do is to bring in practicing lawyers. In the first year, these practicing lawyers know about the trial work, and we're presenting my video comment to you today from our trial courtroom. It's the Wiley-Aitken Trial Courtroom. It's the place where our students actually learn how to practice law in a courtroom. Our trial practice sessions are taught by actual judges. We emphasize the skills that you need, not just the substance of the law. So every first-year student takes the course in how lawsuits are brought, how to bring in, how to defend a lawsuit, but also learns the practical skills from an attorney who is in the courtroom practicing law. Then in second year, every law student takes a course in transactions, that kind of law for those who don't go into court, who prepare documents, who negotiate contracts, who make presentations to boards. Those skills are equally important, and we have an obligatory class in the second year for that topic. Then in the second and third year, as students begin to specialize, they are able to take courses that not only have the doctrinal component, but also have a practicing lawyer come in and teach a laboratory. The practicing lawyer coordinates with the professor teaching the nuts and bolts course, and together you have a unique experience at the second and third year. Very few other law schools, if any, can match. Now, if you choose, you can specialize in your law school here after the first year, which is pretty much required, and a couple of other courses that are required in the second year. You can begin to specialize. If you like, you can specialize, for example, in entertainment law. One of our most remarkable programs is a JD MFA, a Master in Fine Arts, with our film school here at Chapman. Our film school is a nationally ranked top 5 film school. And so if you wish, you can get both a JD and a Master in Fine Arts, and that particular program was rated in the top 20 in the country. Or you can specialize in real estate. A very important part of business, particularly in Southern California and in Orange County. So we have a focus for those who want to go into real estate. For those who want to go into international law, we have a focus. This year, that focus had particular salience as we memorialized the 70th anniversary of the Nuremberg trials. Professor Michael Basler and I went over to Nuremberg. We took 50 California judges with us, and we focused on the rule of law, international law, really the beginning of the criminal international law from Nuremberg that we have had in application throughout the world ever since. You can specialize in tax law. That's probably always going to be with us. As all other laws evaporate, there will always be a tax law, and by specializing in that field, you'll distinguish yourself and focus particularly on those opportunities for a job in that area. We have a business law focus. I'm the director of the business law focus, as well as being dean, because I used to be a business school dean. Indeed, I'm the only law school dean in the country who was also a business school dean. So I make sure that you have the skills and the language to deal with business clients or to go into business yourself. Now, those are our special areas of focus. We, in addition, have opportunities for students to do clinical work in many of these same areas, to participate in competitions, and to help put on symposiums at the law school. Let's talk about the clinical work. I'd mentioned before we're in the Wiley-Aitken trial court here at the Fowler School of Law. Betty and Wiley-Aitken have also endowed the Clinic for Family Protection, where our law students, with the help of 3 law professors, give assistance to families who are in need of protective orders because of violence issues at their home. And this is a way not only of learning skills, of getting orders in court to protect the vulnerable, but also learning compassion and how the practice of law can help those who are most in need. We have a tax law clinic for low-income people who have problems with the IRS. The IRS is still attempting to collect money even though they may be of low income, and they don't know what to do. And it's paid for by the IRS as well as by Chapman University, because it's in the interest of the government to have skilled law students assisting these individual taxpayers rather than have them come in unprepared and on their own. We have the Alona Cortese Elder Law Clinic, where our students, under the direction of 2 professors, work for protective orders for senior citizens, the vulnerable. They're vulnerable sometimes from violence at home, or sometimes from unscrupulous commercial activities. And our law students learn how to protect, how to go into court, how to get a guardianship, how to get a conservatorship to protect those in need. We have a mediation clinic, which is paid for by the Superior Court. Our law students go out and they meet with plaintiffs and defendants who would otherwise be going to court that very day. The judge says, why don't you meet with the Fowler School of Law students instead and mediate? And we're getting settlements of almost 70% of the cases to the benefit of all the parties, to have a mediation rather than a court-imposed outcome. And it's so beneficial, as I said, the court pays for it itself. And we have the Constitutional Jurisprudence Clinic, where students get to participate in drafting briefs that go to the Supreme Court of the United States and courts of appeal throughout the country. So these are the clinics, and these are the areas of specialization where our law students can begin to narrow the areas for their particular study while maintaining the breadth necessary to pass the bar and to be of value in any environment where they end up as practicing lawyers. Let me speak for a moment as well about the symposia. Our students put on symposia every year. This last year we had intellectual property, we had renewable energy, and we had what is becoming the most popular sports law symposium in any law school in the western part of the United States, if not the entire United States. It's put on by our students, one of whom is now graduated, and who is a sports agent as well as now a graduate of our law school. And it attracts agents and practitioners from around the country. We're very proud of the symposium put on by our law students. And then the students participate in competitions as well. Just recently, I'm very proud to say, we have qualified 4 teams for the finals in moot court, mock trial, arbitration, and contract negotiation. This is unheard of. Indeed, at the mock trial finals, 2 Chapman teams, our Fowler Law School teams, were pitted against each other in the semifinals. So one went on, obviously, and happened to win, came in first, and the one that didn't came in third. It's impossible to do better than that. We are very, very proud of the achievements of our competition teams in these fields of endeavor against other law schools. And the faculty that we have is superb. It's the backbone of what we teach, and we marry the doctrinal with the practical by having experts in the law, many of whom are teaching from the textbook that they wrote, and practitioners in that same area. So we have the laboratory components that I spoke about before, and these are taught by practicing lawyers. We have on our permanent full-time faculty 4 Supreme Court law clerks, 3 members of the American Law Institute. One of our colleagues just moderated one of the presidential debates. 2 others just testified before Congress on executive authority. We are recognized throughout the country as having experts in each of many different fields. And the result is that the students can count on knowing the most relevant law most accurately and taught by the people who write the treatises in that subject. I want to conclude with a comment about our alumni, which are now growing to the point we've had 20 years of graduation. And this is an increasing number of colleagues who form a old girl, old boy network in Southern California and Orange County and throughout the state of California and increasingly the rest of the United States as well. Among our graduates are some remarkable achievers. The Super Lawyer magazine puts out a list of the rising stars for the West and rising stars for California, and here's what they just came out. They had a list of 100 for the rising stars of Southern California, and 60 of those rising stars are from Chapman Fowler School of Law. So that's our law school. We emphasize individual care. We do not abandon you after you graduate. We carry on with you to make sure you pass the bar. We have one of the very best student-faculty ratios in the country. We emphasize practical skills training at every step of the way. And we believe as a result, you will leave the Fowler School of Law with the skills to be effective in helping those who come to you for help. That's why we are a service profession. The law is a profession to help those who need assistance, who need advice. And our law students will graduate with the wisdom in the subject area, with the skills in the practical area, and with the compassion to represent their clients well and to uphold the rule of law in our state and in our country and in our world. Thanks very much.